we kind of break it up typically into 3 steps, which is prepare, communicate, and implement. In that prepare phase, we're really going through a deep dive on discovery. We're trying to learn, from the senior or potential exiting attorney, that current owner, what their personal needs are financially, their goals as we build out a potential timeline and structure. But we're also looking at the firm's health, financially and otherwise. We're going to come up with a valuation for the firm to make sure that, how this is going to be built, the value that would be transferred otherwise could really be sustainable. Like the health of the firm will make it through succession based on the goals of the potential exiting attorney. We're also going to look at, the successor or successors to see, what characteristics maybe do they need or do they have that's going to make them, successful or be able to achieve this level of ownership and carry it forward. We're also going to look at certain areas, training, other things that they may need to kind of help them through the process. And lastly, are they an owner? Are they going to be a buyer of this practice internally or otherwise? And that all really happens in that prepare kind of discovery, aspect. When we get to the communication stage, we're really talking about how to package this together financially to start to build that structure, and then also how to deliver it, right? To actually sit down and communicate that idea, when and how potentially to present it so that it's not a shock, and you can really lay it out for hopefully adoption by that next generation. So they see the values and opportunities that you've put together in this transfer of ownership package for them. And then of course the last stage is that implement stage. And so the implement really comes down to working on the legal, working on the financial to make sure everything's tied together. That attorneys of course have helped put together great agreements for employment or for the purchase. And lastly, it's really focusing on that transition plan and personal retirement, because those are key elements as this kind of comes to fruition is, personally, how are we going to handle client relationships and transition, but also, what does retirement look like? Are you ready for that? Are there resources that you need or ways to continue to practice in the legal community or give back to the legal community so that you don't just go from 100, miles an hour to 0. That's not a good way to kind of, for anybody to retire typically, especially lawyers. So we're going to help you with those 3 steps and really work through those with you and the sub-steps to make sure we get to that implementation stage and carry it forward.